welcome to Guitar Gods.
Part 7.
Who thought we'd get this far? Welcome. We are the Thamesmen.
All right, George.
And we're
loving this.
Deep into our mini-series of Guitar Gods.
Deep into it. I can't believe we've actually got to number 7. And
we survived the last session, honestly.
yeah, I know. We've had to do this. For those who don't know, we've done this over a few nights, and the last one did end up in a bit of a car crash, didn't
it? Tonight, we're much more together.
It's early. So
anyway, part 7.
All right, quickly go over the board. Who's number 1? And
well, we got to recap.
Yeah.
So we got Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child, has come in with an unbeatable score of 19.9. Maui performance, unbelievable. Next, we have our friend Stevie Ray Vaughan with also a version of Voodoo Child, and he came in 90.8. Then Cream, Clapton Crossroads. Unbelievable. I think
that brilliant audio mix where you got the bass and you got to listen to that in headphones. That blew me away.
Gotta listen to that in headphones. And then we have our friend Gary Clark Jr. With a performance from Glastonbury,
with his outer body of experience,
which was amazing. Yeah. And then Rory Gallagher from a performance in Montreux Jazz.
We couldn't understand a word he said, and we actually got the giggles on that.
And we still apologize for that. Yeah, but it was a great track though, and he did a great stage shimmy.
Very ashamed of our performance.
And he tried to pick up a bird as well, which is pretty cool. So, and then the last, finally, number 6 is Prince, When My Guitar Gently Weeps, which is from a Harrison tribute concert. So that's
what have we got now?
Catching up. So now, tonight, my choice, this is a personal favorite. This is Mr. Randy Rhoads, who was tragically cut short, but was Ozzy Osbourne when he went solo, and he was the guitarist, obviously, because we were Guitar Gods. Track is Crazy Train, and you've got to hear the sounds he makes like a train, obviously, and it is an awesome track.
Excellent. Looking forward to this one. I know nothing about this, not much about Randy Rhoads. All I know is Ozzy snorts ants.
Yeah, bites off heads of bats or something like that. But anyway.
All right, then. Count me in.
Are you ready?
Yes.
3. You got your headphones? 2.
Yep.
1. Go.
But that's how it goes. Millions of people living exposed. Maybe, it's not too late to live and forget to hate. Make the wound not heal, driving me insane. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Ah.
So okay, so I might have cheated slightly because it was kind of a live version.
Well, I didn't think it was a live version until I heard Ozzy say "clap your hands" because there was some double tracking on his vocals. So what I think has happened,
It's a remix.
It's been touched up, but
it's actually the official video for Crazy Train, that one. So it was, but I couldn't find anything else with sort of very Randy Rhoads. You know what I mean?
Well, tell me about Randy Rhoads. I know Nout. Really?
You know Nout about it. It was a tragic tale.
I know Nout about Randy Rhoads.
So he was from Santa Monica, I think, from California, and he was popular in a band. I think they were called I think it was Quiet Riot, and they were sort of like not doing as well. They had a great club following out here in LA. They were doing great. Ozzy was over here doing some work in the studio, and there's a tale of him sort of rather drunkenly having Randy Rhoads in for an audition, and they didn't even speak. And he says, "You got the gig," and then he went back to England, and then all sorts of craziness. There's a whole story. But anyway, he was signed up in the end. He got into the band. He was playing with them, and they were out on tour. And they're in America, and their tour bus had a problem with the air conditioning unit, apparently. So they stopped at this field, this place where the tour buses were, and there was some helicopters and there was some planes, and everyone was fairly drunk, had been partying, and so most of the people were asleep on the tour bus. And the guy who drove the tour bus, I think,
yes, I remember, took a plane up,
and he took a flight, and he tried buzzing the bus, and then but the second time he went up, he took Randy Rhoads, and he was going to take some photos, and there was one other person on there as well, and they buzzed the bus, and he clipped the bus, and it flew into a building and exploded, and they all died, all three of them. And there was some story, like, because some theory
Ozzy got off that bus. He was on that bus.
He was asleep on the bus,
Karen came and got him off or something because of drinking or something, and he had to move to the other bus. He didn't want to.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was some story like where the coach driver who was piloting the plane was trying to reconcile with his wife, and he'd been doing coke all night, and apparently she was outside the tour bus, and someone else saw that it looked like Randy Rhoads was jostling for the controls, and there might have been like some theory that the pilot lost it and decided to crash the plane into his ex-wife or something like that, and Randy tried to stop it, and anyway, it was a disaster, utter disaster.
I'm sorry, but also, if you're going to make a great cake, use great ingredients, and that one had cocaine, up all night,
plane.
Decide to fly a plane, buzzing fly a plane, and it was it was a sad story, but at the same time, Jesus Christ, what a tour!
Yeah, well, I mean, but apparently Randy Rhoads, when like on the autopsy, the only thing in his body was nicotine.
Oh, shite.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a tragic, but he was an amazing guitarist, as you can see, and he had that, like in that video, as you saw, the polka dot guitar, which is like his like he brought that from his previous band, and so like the audience used to turn up wearing polka dot and stuff like that.
And Buddy Guy plays with a polka dot guitar.
Oh really?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought maybe it was homage to him, because he plays.
I don't know that bit, but. Yeah, so it was a rock career. So God only knows what he could have achieved, but he was known as a phenomenal guitarist. And so guitar gods, he deserves, I think, to be in this. And for me, Crazy Train, my very first 7-inch single, which was of sort of a, let's say, non-childlike variety, was Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. So
God damn it, why do you have to have the cool one? Why could you not end up with Adam and the Ants as your first album? God damn it.
Well, Adam and the Ants has had a kind of retro coolness, haven't they? Sometimes
hanging on to thin threads there,
I'm just trying to be nice. Good. Excellent. So I think it's time to see where this a
wanger or banger.
I'm sure it's banger or wanger.
You like it either way.
Okay, so let's see whereabouts we're going to end up on this board. So, Alex, that was my pick. So the first call is all you, my friend.
Well, it's really tricky for me to score this one, and I'll tell you why. Because it's slightly out the genre that I like. You know, there's a bit more volume on the follicles and the finger tapping, but it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to come in with a non-biased 8.5.
8.5. I think that's fair. And I was slightly cheating because it was not a true live track. You know, it was a, official video mucked around with kind of thing, but it had elements of live to it. But anyway.
Oh, God, no, the guy was amazing. So,
yeah. So I think I'll go with you. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go an 8.5 as well. Good. So, computer, what do we have?
Wind it up.
Okay, what was that? That would be I think that's a 17.0, isn't it?
17.0. Where does that end up on the board?
Where's that put us? Okay, well, that's there's room for improvement, but that's okay. I think Prince deserves to be above Ozzy.
He got beaten by Prince's performance, but that was a pretty amazing performance.
Prince was pretty. I mean, these are all gods. Let's face it. There's not a bad one here, is there? So it's
after the last program, you said demigod. I actually went and looked up demigod.
Did you?
And you're right. It is a lesser god.
Well, of course, a demigod is like half a god, isn't it? Demi means half, doesn't it?
Yes, but
like demi sugar.
We're not going to go into it now. But I had a completely other theory. That's why I looked it up. So I'm just going to go with you on that one.
I hate to think where your imagination took you on that one. Anyway,
good.
Moving on. All right. Well, there we are. Part 7 in the bag, I would say.
All right.
Right. So let us move on to part 8.
See you on the flip.
See what we got. No flip sides.
Okay. All right. See you in a bit.